Ignite your faith. Live with purpose. Welcome to Kingdom Spark.
Hi, welcome to Kingdom Spark. In this video, we will discuss an excellent text titled, Created to Dominate. The good news is that the author is in our studio to answer our questions. Hello, Wendell B. Etienne. Welcome, and thank you for being available to help us understand your text better.
Hi, my friend. It is a pleasure to have you. You know what's fascinating? The Bible has been blamed for environmental destruction because of one misinterpreted word. But the original Hebrew text tells an entirely different story about humanity's role on Earth.
That's an intriguing perspective. How a single word's translation could shape centuries of environmental attitudes. What exactly does that original Hebrew text reveal?
Well, the Hebrew word rada actually means to have authority rather than to destroy. It's like being given the keys to manage a precious estate, not a license to trash it. And here's what's really interesting. The first example we see of this authority in action is Adam essentially doing scientific classification work.
So instead of depicting early humans as exploiters, we're seeing them as careful observers and catalogers of nature. That's quite different from the common narrative.
Exactly right. And you know what's even more fascinating? In my text, I challenge explicitly this modern notion of Mother Nature as a deity. I suggest that by deifying nature, we might actually be preventing ourselves from engaging with it in the practical scientific way that's necessary for proper stewardship.
The way you describe it really highlights how this ancient text seems to advocate for what we might now call ecological stewardship, finding that balance between respect and practical management.
And here's where it gets really interesting. Okay, from a biblical perspective, creation is incomplete and full of secrets waiting to be discovered. It's not presenting a static world that we need to leave untouched, but rather a dynamic system that we're meant to study and understand.
Well, that's fascinating because it seems to directly challenge the idea that religion and science are somehow at odds with each other.
Right? And when we look at modern environmental challenges like climate change, we often fall into this false dichotomy. Either humans are destructive overlords who should remove themselves from nature entirely, or we have unlimited rights to exploit natural resources. But I present a much more nuanced middle ground.
That really connects to how we're thinking about sustainable development today. It's about finding that sweet spot between human needs and environmental protection.
You know what's particularly compelling about this interpretation? It gives us a practical framework for addressing environmental challenges. Instead of just feeling guilty about human impact, it suggests we can and should work to make that impact positive. Think about restoration ecology or sustainable agriculture.
So if we look at it that way, human intervention in nature isn't inherently bad. It's all about how we choose to use our influence.
Exactly, and here's a perfect example. Unmanaged forests can actually become dangerous tinderboxes for devastating wildfires. In the text, I specifically mention that nature isn't always as benevolent as we might romantically imagine when left entirely to itself. It needs maintenance and care.
That's such an essential point about the balance between intervention and preservation. It makes me think about how proper human management can actually enhance natural systems rather than destroy them.
And let me share another crucial aspect. I suggest that our ability to understand and manage nature is actually part of our fundamental purpose. It's not just about preservation for preservation's sake, but about actively working to bring out the potential that exists within natural systems.
The way you frame that really brings home how this ancient wisdom might help us address modern challenges. It's not about removing human influence entirely, but about making that influence more positive and sustainable.
And here's where it all comes together. I challenge the Christians to be what I call excellent creative managers. This isn't just about maintaining the status quo, it's about actively working to improve and enhance our environment. Think about how restoration projects have brought life back to damaged ecosystems.
Well, that really brings us full circle to the original meaning of dominion that we discussed earlier. It's about responsible leadership rather than exploitation.
And you know what? That might be precisely what we need right now as we face unprecedented environmental challenges. Instead of either exploiting or abandoning nature, we need to work within it as thoughtful stewards, using our scientific understanding and technological capabilities to enhance rather than destroy.
The way you put that really helps clarify how we might bridge the gap between environmental protection and human development. It's not about choosing one or the other, but finding ways to advance both together.
The more human beings assume their responsibilities as stewards and leaders, the more they can contribute to making the glory of God visible and attractive everywhere in the communities.
Powerful. We are about to close our discussion. Now, we invite you, dear friend, to think deeply about this question. Do you consider yourself an excellent creative manager? If not, what will you change in your relationship with the environment?
Excellent questions.
Friend, thank you for your precious time. Don't hesitate to like, share this content, and subscribe to our channel to ignite your faith and live with purpose. I appreciate your support. May God keep blessing you. See you next time.
Thank you for your precious time. Please subscribe to our channel for more content like this.